Good morning. Good morning. How are you this beautiful morning? As you can see behind me, the sun is shining. Good morning. As I'm getting everything going live, I appreciate your patience. And as you get here, make sure that you say hello and let me know that you're here. This morning is going to be a fun one. Hold on a second. I can't spell if I'm talking. All right, now let me pull this up on my phone. You guys know the drill. Happens every morning, right? This up on my phone. I have learned to embrace this, but I do miss the times when all we had to do was hit live and everything went live at the same time. But that is not the case anymore, and I'm embracing it, right? It does complicate things a little bit more, or seems things are a little more choppy as you have to do all the things to get everything going. But as I said, it's a beautiful morning here. I'm grateful to be here in front of you. And the thing that I am always ultra grateful for when I wake up in the morning is the fact that I woke up. So I hope you are embracing that wonderful thing this morning as well, that you woke up and you're alive and ready to start your day. And you may be in a different part of the world. Maybe you've been awake and doing things for hours. And if so, bless you. And I'm so grateful for you to be here. Excuse me. All right. So before I dive into our affirmation and journal prompt, I just kind of want to share a few little thoughts. This morning, I was thinking a lot about right now where I'm doing a program with Sue Anderson, and we've got a few people in there where we've really kept it small to kind of suss out what we need to do and help people at a different level. And it's called Rewrite Your Money Story. And one of the things I was thinking about when it comes to money is that a lot of times we are depleting our money almost continuously, right? Especially when you're when you're struggling to get your business going and things like that, it feels like there's never enough. And so what I want us to do, not only with our money, but the other things in our life, is to get to this place of there's an overflow, right? And the best way to start doing that is to just think about it. And I'm going to share with you 3 thoughts that I had about that this morning before I even get into the affirmation and journal prompt. And it's one of the things is that you can't pour from an empty cup, right? And that comes from, I have a friend right now that I love her dearly. And it seems like she's always burning the candle at both ends. And I'll be honest, people say that about me too, but it doesn't feel that way to me. So I don't know, maybe she feels the same way. But when you're burning the candle at both ends, you're going and doing, and you're not taking care of yourself. Good morning, Carrie. Good morning. Great to have you here. And so it's really, really important to fill your cup up, right, before you start doing other things, because our overflow is energy, and it can be magnetic to people, right? And so, like, have you ever noticed that if you wake up in the morning and you're feeling good, that things just seem to flow and everything's great, right? You stub that toe and you're anxious, you're stressed, that kind of feeds into the day as well. So it's when you can keep your energy up because you're taking care of yourself, you're creating, you're doing the things, but you're recharging yourself in really fun ways, whether that means you're going out in nature, which I love that one, right? Or maybe you're connecting with your body by moving your body. maybe you're getting creative and you're letting that outlet, or maybe you're getting the rest that you need. And I know, Carrie, you were sick recently, and so it's really, really important, right? When you sometimes we push ourselves and push ourselves and push ourselves, and it's like the only way that God yourself can step in and say, stop it, is you get sick. Something happens to stop you from moving. And like I had that recently, when I was doing and doing more than I should, I ended up with a hip issue that stopped me from doing a lot of the things that I was doing. And I had to slow down. And sometimes if we can just get ourselves to start the process of taking care of ourselves, maybe sometimes it's to slow down. And one of the things that I hear a lot, and I'll just share, is that if your business is not doing what you want it to do, if it's not making the money you want it to make, it's not the reach that you want to have, that you're not supposed to do anything but focus on that business. And I got to thinking about it the other day, because that was what I felt like I was starting to do. And I realized that, just because I don't have a romantic relationship that I make sure that I allow time for, I have a relationship with me, right? And so it's okay to take time for me. And that was really came up for me because one of my friends, she has these really clear boundaries about, well, she wants to spend this amount of time with her husband. So we don't have things going later in the day or on the weekends unless it's absolutely necessary, because that's the time with her husband. And I thought, just because I don't have a husband doesn't mean I don't need to take that time, right? And I really had to look at that, because I didn't have a clear boundary with that. And a lot of times I would be doing and doing and doing. And I even found, let me tell you this. I'm babysitting or fostering whatever a dog for my son until he can get himself into a place where he's got the time and all. It doesn't really matter. But anyway, before I started fostering this dog, I would sometimes be on the computer late at night, go straight from the computer to get in the bed. I'd meditate, I'd do my thing to kind of get into that sleep mode. But I noticed that since I've got the dog, that I will take time at night to go sit on the sofa and cuddle with him. And so that was kind of in my face too. Why will I take the time to cuddle with the dog to make him feel comfortable, but I'm not taking the time to just cuddle with myself? Are you feeling me, Carrie? Does that even make any sense? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share the affirmation. Hold on. All right. So our affirmation for today is, my cup is so full, it's practically spilling glitter. Sure does, yeah. I think most entrepreneurs kind of get that. You get into the space where you're almost like obsessed with the different activities that you do. But it's so important for us to pull back a bit and take care of ourselves, right? I create, give, and shine from my overflow, because when I'm thriving, everything I touch gets better. When I'm thriving, everything I touch gets better, right? So going back to that, you can't pour from an empty cup. The thing is that it's kind of like, when our phone is, we can see that the battery's getting low. Very easy to see, right? It's a little indicator on there, right? Our body can kind of tells us that too. Most of the time we ignore it. But when our phone is doing it, we know that pretty soon, we've got to go put it on the charger. If we don't, the thing will just completely die and then we can't use it at all. We're like that too, right? If we don't recharge as we need to for not just our body, but for our minds, our hearts, our business, right? There's so much about this that we sometimes get so depleted that then it takes us even longer to recharge. That's where the sickness comes in. When you get sick, it's like, okay, now I'm down and out. I've got to wait until this gets better. So it might take you a week. Sometimes it'll take you more, right? But if you were to recharge at a time way before that battery gets so low, it's going to feel like amazing, right? Because then you're actually making you a priority, not a luxury, right? So it's either you spend the time to regroup and recharge when you want to, or you're going to be forced to stop, regroup, and recharge, right? And like I said before, when our overflow of energy is actually magnetic, it draws things to us, right? So when you are working from this place of depletion, so you're showing up online, you're showing up for your clients, you're showing up at work, you're showing up wherever it is, and you're so depleted, you just feel heavy. You don't feel like inspired, right? When you come from the place of overflow, everything feels effortless and expansive. Right? So, filling up your cup, recharging your battery is a non negotiable. And I'm not saying that you don't do the things for your business. I'm not saying that at all, because we can't sit on the sofa and zen ourselves into a prosperous business, right? It doesn't work that way. I mean, it might be possible that people will start reaching out to you, but it's very unlikely. So you do have to, or if you want to have a successful business, you do have to work in and on your business, but not 24/7, right? So it's all about sustaining your energy so you can keep going for the long run. So remember, our battery life on our phone, our battery life in our bodies, it's a pretty long battery life. But if we don't recharge, think about your cell phone. I put on mine on the charger every night, and there are times I've used my phone so much during the day that I have to pull out the charger and charge it in the middle of the day. But if I didn't put it on the charger at night before I went to bed, when I got up in the morning, it wouldn't be working. I'd have to put it on the charger then, right? And that's what we do to ourselves sometimes. And think about it. The most impactful people in the world have routines that nourish them. So that could be like a morning ritual of getting on here and diving to the day's affirmation and journal prompt. It could be getting outside in nature. It could be that they just simply take breaks periodically through the day and they allow themselves to just relax. You can find ways to keep your cup full, because what we want is to be able to work from our overflow. The world doesn't need a burned out version of us, right? It needs the most vibrant, thriving, and fully alive us, you. So fill your cup and embrace your overflow. And that energy will change everything around you. Now, it's not just your business that changes. You change, the people around you change. It changes your finances, because with your finances, like I said, you can't, if you're constantly depleted, you got to figure out a way to have an overflow. I love listening to Myron Golden, and he calls it his money has babies. That's the interest and all the different things, right? And that he only spends the babies. He doesn't spend the principal. And for a lot of people, that sounds very foreign. I will say, the first time I heard him say that, I thought, what the hell does that mean? And I really had to do some soul searching to figure it out, and listen to him and read books. And so I've got different finance books that I read, and I've got some audio books that I read, and I'm really getting in touch with more about what all of that means. So going back to the affirmation, my cup is so full, it's practically spilling glitter. I create, give, and shine from my overflow, because when I'm thriving, everything I touch gets better. Put that on your index card, the screensaver on your phone, put it on your sticky notes, put it somewhere that today, if you don't get anything else out of this, my cup is so full, it's spilling glitter. My cup is so full, right? Because it can be. Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to share the journal prompt. Where are we on time? Whoops. All right. So our journal prompt for today. What truly lights me up and fills my cup to the brim? What does that for you? You have an idea on that, Carrie? And anyone who is watching, make sure to say hello and let us know that you're here. And that way we can have a conversation. But if you feel more comfortable staying in the background, that's okay too. And if you're watching the replay, make sure you put #replay and join in the conversation, because I will go back and look at that to see what everybody has to say. And if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can direct message me, and we can have a conversation that way as well. When I see that my efforts have been rewarded. Okay. Beautiful. And then how can I pour into myself first, so that everything I create and share comes from a place of joy and abundance? For one thing, just think about it. If you have a job that you go to, and you get paid by, maybe you get a salary, you get paid by the hour, but it feels like you're constantly working, and nobody appreciates it. And it's really hard in that moment to come from a place of joy and abundance. Yes, Carrie, I love that. So how can you pour into yourself first? Now, for me, I listen to my hypnosis audios. I listen to the ones that I create all the time, right? I have a playlist on YouTube for me that is the different hypnosis audios that I've created, and I listen to them regularly. I listen to other people's recordings as well. But one of my favorite things, aside from that, is to just go outside and walk with the dog now, right? But before that, it was just going out and walking and listening to the sounds of nature. Oh my gosh. There's just something to me about being outside and hearing the birds and the wind and the different little creatures that you can hear scuttering through the leaves and things like that. That just really, really feeds me. And so sometimes I love to just go sit outside in the backyard and just close my eyes and listen. And that feeds me. Now, I don't do that one as often as I should, as often as I would like to, because I, just like everybody else, can get so busy that it's like, well, wait a minute, I don't want to do that now. I'm going to do this, right? And then I end up not doing the thing I said I was going to do, like going and sitting out and just resting and relaxing, right? So this is my reminder today that when I have this inclination that, ooh, it would be nice to go out and sit on the chair and just close my eyes and listen and relax, to do that, right? Because our inner guidance is always telling us something. And like I said, a lot of times we're not listening, right? So, like I said, this is my reminder today, so that as I'm going through my day, and I will let you know, because it hits me sometimes, and then I don't do it because I do something else. So today, I'm going to do the thing, right? As soon as it comes up in my mind. So I challenge you guys, whether you're here live like Carrie, or you're watching on the background, or you're here for the replay, I challenge you today, if there's something that tends to come up for you that you know would be help you fill your cup to the brim, like mine is going and sitting outside and just listening to nature, whatever that thing is that sometimes pops into your mind to do and you don't. It could be doing a quick meditation, or doing a stretch, calling someone. It could be something, right, that you get the idea of sometimes, but you just don't do it. Today, do it, right? And then, write down a little bit about what shows up when that happens, right? How do you feel afterwards? Because I guarantee you, afterwards, you're going to think, oh, why do I sometimes not do this? This is brilliant, right? All right, so I'm going to go back to our affirmation. Where are we? Okay. My cup is so full, it's practically spilling glitter. I create, give, and shine from my overflow because I'm thriving. Everything I touch gets better. That's the old Midas touch, right? We've all got it when we utilize it. So, like I said, put this on your index card, the screensaver on your phone, your sticky notes, put it on a piece of paper, stick it to your fridge, put it on your mirror with a chalk marker, put it somewhere so that today, this is the top of your mind, and you're reminded quite often because you see it somewhere, right? And remember, what we focus on, we create, right? So just by having this written in different places in your world today, and you stop and you read it every time you see it, more of these things are going to show up. You'll be able to create more, give more, and shine more throughout your day just because of your focus. And then our journal prompt. And as I always recommend, get out your journal, get out your notebook, and write down the date, the affirmation, and the journal prompt. And then say it out loud, give it some feeling, I'm not saying volume, I'm saying feeling. Give it a feeling. And then set a timer for 10 to 15 minutes. And when that timer goes off, all you've done is sat in silence and focused on your breath, which connects you to that inner guidance, that God voice flowing through you. And when the timer goes off, there is a scientific connection that happens from your brain, your heart, and coming out your hand. And so when you've tapped into that inner knowledge, that inner guidance, that God voice, and you start writing, your subconscious mind is going to start giving you answers that would not come otherwise. So just let everything flow out. Don't critique it. Don't judge. Make sure you write down every single word that flows out of your mind, out of your hand. Because a lot of times the thoughts and the feelings and the things that show up feel like they have not anything to do with what you're talking about or what you're thinking about. But it has to in some way, because otherwise your subconscious mind, your inner guidance would not be bringing it out. And so then you get to explore, what does this mean? Why is this important? Why is this phrase or this word important? What does that have to do? And if you can't figure it out, just let it sit there and then you can come back to it later. But if you'll look at everything that you've written out, what truly lights me up and fills my cup to the brim? What is that? There's probably a lot of things that are going to flow out of you about that, right? It's just for you, nobody else. Then how can I pour into myself first so that everything I create and share comes from a place of joy and abundance? And then write as much as comes up from there, because there's going to be a lot of things if you allow it. And then the reason I ask you to put the date is because when you come back in a few months or even a few weeks, right? And you look at that, you may notice that a lot of the things that you've written out there, you've been utilizing, you've been doing without even noticing. Because it is so amazing how our brain, our subconscious mind, our inner guidance, our superconscious, all of this works. Utilize it, celebrate it. So keep your cup full. Let your overflow do the magic. Remember our battery charging our phone. If you feel in sometime during the day that you're just like, whew, man, I feel tired. I don't know why. Stop. Do some breath work. Stop. Do some stretching. Stop. Go outside. Do something in that moment to fill your cup back up. And then sprinkle that energy, that magic everywhere. Because as you get into this more, where you are really, really tapping into the overflow, the way you show up and the way people interact with you, it's going to be delicious. Because that energy is contagious. All right. So thank you guys for being here this morning. I greatly appreciate you. And I am inspired by you guys every single day. And I'm so grateful to have you in my life. And just as a reminder, tonight at 5:30 p.m. is the next Stand Up and Stand Out party. You go into the events section and all the information is right there. I would love to have more of you show up for that. Thank you, Carrie. And the thing is that it's going to be so much fun. And it doesn't have this strict agenda, but it's going to be so enlightening for some people. Some people are going to really, really feel so good afterwards. Maybe that's you. So I would love to have you there with me. So like I said, it's in the events section. Just check it out. Go ahead and sign up so that you get the email reminders that it's happening. And I will see you tonight, 5:30 Eastern. If not, I will see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Love you.